Okay, I want to talk for a minute about dividing a fraction. We're going to divide them by whole numbers here. And so let's have this situation. Let's suppose that you have 3/4 of a pizza. And there are 5 friends, which means we're going to divide it equally among 5 people. Okay, now this problem, it looks at first, and people see it to be a pretty complicated problem. We don't really know, like there's no way to long divide. We can't go build our little division house and put 3/4 as the dividend and 5 as the divisor. That doesn't really work. And so what we'll need to do is figure out an easier strategy. And the strategy for dividing fractions is actually not hard at all. Okay, and so here's what we're going to do. Let's go back and remember when we wanted to find a number divided in 5 equal parts, that there's 2 things we've done. So in the past, let me give us a bar model. Let's suppose we had, instead of 3/4 of a pizza, let's suppose we'd had 15 pizzas. Well, for 15 pizzas, obviously we would do 15 divided by 5. We would put a 3 in each box. So the question mark here would be a 3. But we also know that that could be said as 15 divided by 5. But we've also said that that's 1/5 of 15, which we've written as 15 times 1/5. 15 times 1/5 is also 3. They're both the same. So that gets us to something really, really important when we want to do 3/4 divided by 5. The important thing it gets us to in 3/4 divided by 5 is realizing a very important statement. And that statement is this: that dividing by 5 is the same as multiplying by 1/5. So if I've got 3/4 of a pizza divided into 5 equal parts, I could do 3/4 divided by 5, but the easiest way to do this is to say, well, that is, each space is 1/5 of 3/4. And so if I do that, then actually what I could do is I could change the problem to a multiplication problem. And we've got right here, we've got dividing by 5. We replaced it with multiplying by 1/5 because it's the exact same problem. These numbers like 5 and 1/5, there's a name for those. They're called reciprocals. We're going to use them a lot. The reciprocals are whole numbers are easy though. The way you find it is you put the number, instead of 5 being a numerator, which it normally is, you put the 5 in the denominator and you replace it with a 1. And so all I've got to do for this problem is 3/4 times 1/5. 3/4 times 1/5 is 3/20, which is the quotient to my problem. If there's 3/4 of a pizza, you divide it equally among 5 people, they'd each have 3/20 of a pizza. How do we know this? Well, if each of these stands for 3/20, then I have 3/20 times 5, 3/20, 6/20, 9/20, 12/20, finally 15/20. That's 3/20 times 5. If you simplify 15/20, you get 3/4. And so that is what we have. 3/4 of a pizza divided by 5 is 3/20. All we have to do is recognize that to divide by a whole number is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. And the reciprocal of a whole number is real easy because we just put a 1 in the numerator and we put the number in the denominator. We're going to use these reciprocals for a lot of different kinds of division problems, but it's very helpful to understand it when we multiply with whole numbers.